Hello and welcome to my tutorial ebook, Understanding Fractions, where every single problem is linked to a video tutorial. Alrighty, here's where we drill until we kill every single mistake. Without further ado, let's move on to our first problem. Alrighty, so your very first problem says that you must illustrate 3/5. So your denominator tells you how many parts in this case, we always do rectangles. The rectangle is broken into. So right here, I'm going to make it into 5 parts. 5 parts, as we talked about before, means that I'm going to draw 4 lines. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that will give me 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I get 3 out of 5, or 3/5, right? So 3 out of 5, I get 1, 2, 3 of those, right? So I'm going to color in 3 of them, and I'll just use my little highlighter here. I've got 1 here, then 2, and finally 3, and just like that. So you get 1, oh, let me do that in black. 1, 2, 3 out of 5, or 3/5. And this is what your illustration should look like. If you did it correctly, fantastic. If not, just pause this video right now and fix it. That's the fastest way to learn. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to our next problem. Alrighty, for this problem you have to illustrate 7/9. So, once again, our denominator tells us how many parts we're going to break our rectangle into. So I'm going to first draw a rectangle here. And since I'm going to make 9 parts, that means I'm going to make 8 lines. So here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 lines. Now, I get 7 out of 9, right? Oh, first let's double check that we got 9 parts. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 parts. Bingo, I did the denominator correctly for my illustration here. And I get 7 out of 9, right? So this can be said as 7/9 or 7 out of 9. So since I get 7, I'm going to simply color in 7 of these. So I've got 1, 2, color that in a little better, huh? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 right there. And I like to count them. So I'll go 1, oops, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it with a thin one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 out of 9. 7/9. So if you did this illustration correctly, fantastic. If not, just pause the video and fix it. That's the fastest way to learn. And we'll move on to our next problem. Alrighty, for this problem you are going to draw 1/4. Super. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a big old rectangle. So let's do that right here. And now the denominator tells us how many parts we need to cut this into. Since I'm cutting it into 4 parts, I'm going to draw 3 lines. So I'll go 1, 2, and 3 lines. That should give me 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Exactly. And now I only get 1 out of the 4 parts, 1/4 or 1 out of 4. So I'm going to color in just 1 of these. And let me do that right now. Color this in really good. And I get 1 out of 4, 1/4. So this is how your illustration should look. If you did it correctly, fantastic. If you made any mistakes, just pause it and fix it. There we go. Let's move on to our last problem. And here we go. Alrighty, for this problem you are going to illustrate 4/7. Alright, so first thing you want to do is create your rectangle. And here we go, making a good sized rectangle. And the next thing I want to do is cut it into 7 parts because the denominator tells us how many parts we have here, right? So I'm going to cut it into 7 parts, which means I'll draw 6 lines. So here we go. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 lines. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. That is correct. Now I get 4 out of 7, or 4/7, so I'm going to color in 4 out of the 7 parts. So let's do that right now. So I'll color in this one right here, then 2, then 3, and finally 4 parts. I like to number them here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the total 7. So that is done correctly. If you did it exactly like this, fantastic. You are correct. If you made a mistake, simply pause it and fix it. That's the fastest way to learn. Thanks for now. I'll see you next time.